As Sir Arthur Kent said, evolution is unproved and it's unprovable. But that doesn't stop people from trying to convince us otherwise. However, evolution in itself isn't a fact and it's barely a theory, and it's held only together through misconceptions and lies. And these are just a few. We are often taught that natural selection and evolution go hand in hand. However, this is a lie. You see, natural selection is not a creating force, it is nothing more than a selective force. When talking about natural selection, we often hear about survival of the fittest. The strong survive and the weak die, but that in no way explains the arrival of the fittest. And even survival of the fittest is a tautology. It makes no sense. Kenthoven pointed this out brilliantly when he said, if a whale goes through a school of fish and eats 80% of them, it's not survival of the fittest, it's actually survival of the luckiest. Textbooks often state that mutations were the form of original variation in population. However, this is a lie. Now, it's no lie that mutations happen, they do happen, but they do not prove evolution. You see, mutations, they're scrambled up information, but they're not new information. Here's the 5-legged sheep. Now that's a mutant, but there's no new information added. He already had all the information needed to create his leg, he just made an extra one in the wrong place. Again, it's not new information, it's just scrambled information. And here we see another sheep, but this time with really short legs, and also he's a mutant. But there's no new information, and in fact with him it's a loss of information, and his short legs are in no way beneficial, because if a wolf decided to chase his flock, he'd be the one that get caught. You see, there are a lot of mutants out there, but remember, that's scrambled information, that's not new information, that in no way proves evolution. So we're all taught about vestigial organs such as our appendix and tailbone that no longer serve a function as we've evolved past the state to need them. However, again, this is a lie. You see, the appendix is part of your immune system. The appendix is required to activate killer B cells like your thyroid is required to activate killer T cells. Now it's true you can live without your appendix, but you can also live without your eyes, ears, arms and legs. That doesn't prove you don't need them. And if you get your appendix removed, it actually increases your chances of getting leukemia, Hodgkin's diseases, cancer of the colon and cancer of the ovaries. Then we get the coccyx, the human tailbone. Now this is apparently what's left of our tails that most mammals still use today. But again, that's a lie. You see, the coccyx or tailbone is actually an anchor point that holds 9 muscles. And what about vestigial organs and body parts in animals? We are told that the whale retains pelvic and leg bones from when it was still a 4-legged land-dwelling creature, and that these bones are not connected to the spine and as such serve no function. Now this is another lie. These little bones are actually anchor points for muscles that are needed to help whales reproduce. See, whales are pretty big, and without these special bones and special muscles, they won't be able to reproduce and create baby whales. And then we have snake legs. Now you can see here clearly that these vestigial appendages were once legs. Now you see, this is another lie. These claws are actually used for mating, and you see, since the snake doesn't have any arms or legs, he can't exactly hold on to anything. You see, there are in fact no vestigial organs or body parts in any creatures, and that's because we did not evolve. But even if vestigial organs did exist, wouldn't that be the opposite of evolution? You see, because that's losing information, that's not gaining anything. And how does that work? Are we just going to keep losing stuff until we've got nothing left? So by now we all know that atheists claim the fossil record shows and portrays that we have evolved as a species from ape to man. However, again, this is a lie. Scientists have told us that we evolved over 6 million years, yet not a single full skeleton exists to support this theory. Instead of fully formed skeletons, we have a few skulls, teeth and other minor fragments of bone. Simply stating that these small findings belong to a larger set simply doesn't make it true. Now, Museum of Natural History Director David Rayop stated, in the years after Darwin, his advocates hoped to find a predictable progression. In general, these have not been found. Yet some optimism has died hard and some pure fantasy has crept into the textbooks. Now you see how we use that word fantasy in there. Fantasy, that's just a fancy word for saying they lied.